Blast me to Bermuda. It's time for the Mad Merlins unboxing of Warhammer 40,000 Imperium. Delivery 18 by Hachette Partworks and Games Workshop. Hello, ho, 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 and it's a Merry Christmas unboxing from me, Merlin. So, we have our latest delivery for the Imperium Partworks. So this is issues 67 to 70 and a special bonus issue. So let's dive in. As usual, of course, we will go through each of the individual issues. I will do a full coverage of the special bonus issue. And then at the end, I'll give you my thoughts on the collection as a whole for this delivery. But before we get into anything, of course, don't forget to click that like button, and if you haven't already, do subscribe, because it's the only way you can keep up to date with me and my mad content. So, without further ado, let's dive into Delivery 18. So there we have it. Put the paperwork out of the way. So, there's our special issue. So this is a character pack featuring Inquisitor Grey packs. So we'll cover that at the end. But as I said, we've got issue 67, which is our final paint issue with Tesseract Glow and White Scar. Got our third and final Canoptic Wraith. And we've got parts 1 and 2 of Marneus Calgar and his Victrix Guard. So, let's start at 67 and that all-important paint issue. So here we have our paint issue for the delivery, and like I said, it's our last paint issue. So the two paints we get are Tesseract Glow and White Scar. So we're finally going to be putting a glow effect on all our Necrons, and I believe there's also some Adeptus Mechanicus models we'll be using this on as well. And we've got a White Scar to highlight a lot of our white details. So let's have a look through the issue itself very quickly. So we got all about the Silver Templars chapter, all about the different types of gravic tanks, learning about Commander Dante and Mephiston, two of my favourite characters of the Blood Angels. And then we're getting straight into our paint guide, because it was a pretty big paint guide. So using Tesseract Glow to paint pretty much everything on our Necrons that has been previously painted white. Not too keen on this. It's a really weird paint scheme. I mean, it looks okay there, but then when it adds the yellow, that just looks really kind of weird. Not too keen on that. I have my own method of doing it, so it's fine. Everybody has their own way of doing it. And that's our finished Necrons. Pretty much everything we have so far, or at least a representation of everything we have already. But it is looking 100% more complete now. We've got all that glow on. Yeah. Moving on, we got some other bits of paint with our new paints. So Tesseract Glow on screens for the bikers, and then a White Scar edge highlight on our white details. And then we've got Tesseract Glow on our Tech Priest Dominus there with these vials on the back, and then we're highlighting a little bit of White Scar as well, and White Scar is used on the Cog Mechanicus symbols on our Mechanicum, and also we've got some details painting on our Battle Sisters, so edge highlighting all the armour, hair, and anything else that was previously painted white. Moving on rules wise, we've got some new rules for our Adeptus Mechanicus in the form of the Holy Orders. So it goes into a nice depth about the different Holy Orders and what benefits they each get. And then we got a brand new mission, Auspex Array. So it is a big mission, and there's going to be a lot of big missions in this particular pack. So it's going to have to be a lot of on the floor battles. Okay, so 68, this brings us our third and final Canoptic Wraith. So there's our issue, and there's our Wraith frame. So it's different to the previous ones in the basic form of its coiled torso there, but everything else is near enough the same. So really nicely detailed, and again we've got 4 unique heads, so choose the ones you prefer. I think the more eyes the better, so I'll probably go for that one there with a 4. And we got a 50mm round base for him to go on. Okay, moving on to the issue then. So we got a brand new Theatre of War to fill out, focusing on the dead world of Kalmar's Skull. Learn about the Third Tyrannic War and the devastation of Baal. A couple of Necron characters, we've got Trazan the Infinite, and from my favourite Tomb World, the Stormlord himself, Imhotep. Then we have a Necron story featuring the Eldari and Necrons of the Saltec dynasty. We build our Wraith, and now that we have all the paints, we are giving everything a complete paint job. So we're using our Tesseract Glow and our White Scar, and there we have a completed Wraith. Rules wise, we get brand new Warlord traits, so we get a selection of Warlord traits specific to the Necrons. So when we're not using any named characters, we can choose a Warlord trait that we think will be beneficial to our battles. And a tutorial for a couple of them there. And then we got another battle, the Front Lines, and this is another format battle. Got 6 objectives, 4 of them 12 inches apart and 12 inches from the centre. And then the others are 18 inches from the centre along the central line. We've got a nice big deployment zone though, 10-inch deployment zone, so that's pretty cool. But we have a nice lot of new stuff we can use with the form of our new Canoptic Wraith. And there we have that. So 69 then is our first part of Marneus Calgar. So the frame itself is the majority of Marneus Calgar, luckily. So if you want to, you can build them up. There are going to be a few components you are missing, as you're missing his fingers, and he has no head on this frame. They are all included on the other frame in issue 70. But either way, you can build a majority of this guy up. And I'm definitely considering possibly doing some sub-assemblies so I can reach all the detail on this guy. Yeah, looks really good. So, looking at issue 69, so we've got the build guide, we learn about him, and we have an origins of the Space Marines. So straight up we got Heroes 2, Marneus Calgar. We won't be getting a battle record for him, I don't think. We might do, that'll probably be in 70 if we do. We learn about the ancient origins of the Space Marines from the days of the Horus Heresy. And that's a lovely picture there of all the original founding legions. So that's pretty cool. So we've got the Dark Angels, the Unknown Second Company, Second Legion, Emperor's Children, Iron Warriors, White Scars, Space Force. One of my favourites, the Imperial Fists, the Night Lords. One of my other favourites, the Blood Angels, Iron Hands, the Unknown 11th Legion, World Eaters, Ultramarines, Death Guard, Thousand Suns, Lunar Wolves, known later as the Sons of Horus, Word Bearers, Salamanders, Raven Guard, and the Alpha Legion. We have a focus on the different Space Marines tracked vehicles, the classic Predator tanks, the Bar Predator exclusive to the Blood Angels and their successors, Vindicators, and the various different weapon, missile and anti-air tanks, which are a fairly new addition. Then we have the looking at the transports, so this is mainly the Rhinos and the Razorbacks. So some lovely vehicles there, and the ever important Land Raider, and of course you can't have an aerial assault without a drop pod or 10. So we've got a new page here. This is the Rogue Trader logbook, so this is a new addition to the collection. So we have first few pages of a Rogue Trader's logbook, so some of their important crew. Really cool. Nice little do's and don'ts list there. And then we have our build guide for Calgar, so it does mention to keep the heads separate. Excuse me, putting them onto a pot of paint if you are painting them separate. And then we have our build guide for Calgar there. Nice little detail, lovely model. I'm going to be leaving the Tyranid head off the base because I'm going to be using that for my Blood Angels, and I'll probably put something Necron-y on there to help tie him into the collection more. And we have our finished models. We have our Warlord traits for our Space Marines. So we've got a specific one for the Vanguard forces there, and then a couple trio there for the regular Space Marines. So a couple of tutorials to help you out. And then our veteran mission is Heart of the Tomb. Only 2 battle bats this time. We've got Central Ground and a pretty chunky deployment zone there. So with this one being the Central of the Tomb, I am going to be doing an army list I've wanted to be doing for a while, which is a very canoptic heavy list. Now that we have all of the Wraiths, I'm going to run a couple of Spiders, loads of Scarabs. It's 75 power, so we can have a big selection of units in there. That's pretty cool. And we also have a fold-out sheet. So this is the Gathering Storm, the Rise of the Primarch. So this is the third and final part of the Gathering Storm trilogy, and focuses on the returning of Rabute Guilliman. We got Grandmaster Valdus of the Grey Knights there. One of my favourite mysterious figures of 40k lore is Lord Cypher of the Dark Angels. We got the different Warp Storms, the return of the Primarch, battling his brother Magnus on Luna. And then we got the Scions of Guilliman, so Varo Tigurius, Marneus Calgar, and Cato Sicarius there. So our final issue is issue 70. So this issue comes with the actual Honor Guard and the bases needed to build these models. So there's the Honor Guard themselves. So we've got Calgar's fingers and the expelled, that's the word I was thinking of, casings from these Stormbolters there. So you've got the heads for the Honor Guard, and you've got the 2 different heads for Calgar, either the helmeted head or his bare head. And then we've got the Honor Guard themselves, rather cool looking models I think. So yeah. So focusing on this issue, we've got 2 collect articles, got a paint guide on how to paint Calgar and the Honor Guard, and a mission. Okay, so we do have a battle record for Calgar. So it's him detail about all his war gear there. You can't change his name because he is what he is, but you can, of course, write down a few achievements here on his gauntlets throughout the battles you have with him. And we've got some of these notable victories here. So defeated a Swarm Lord at Icar 4 in ending the Second Tyrannic War. Single-handedly held the Green Tide at bay during the siege of Zalathras. Bested an Aldari avatar at the Battle of Aurar's Sepulchre. And was overwhelmed by Abaddon the Despoiler while defending the Vigilus system. Then we got a battle record for our Victrix Guard, and this time we can name them. So we got D6 charts for each of them. We can name their power swords and their storm shields. And a little tick chart for activating their abilities there. So our only lore is some background information about some of the Grey Knight characters. So this is the Grandmaster Calgar Drago, Supreme Grandmaster even, and Garen Crow, who's always been one of my favourite characters, and it's nice to have him get a finally blown up updated model. He's not Primaris, but he is finally a decent scale. Just wish the rest of the Grey Knight range was as well. Then we have our paint guide for Calgar and his Honor Guard. So we're painting it in 3 layers of metallic blue, picking out the black details with Abaddon black, brown details Morvan brown, the inside of the cape and purity seals with Rakar flesh, all our gold detail with Retributor armor, red details Mephisto on red, corn red on the ropes, lead belcher on all our silver details, Corax white on all our white details, Screamer pink on the purity seal wax, Mechanical Standard grey on our Crux Terminatus symbols there, and then we are giving a big set of washings, doing non-oil over the majority of the model, Agrax Earthshade over small parts such as purity seals, non scrolls, and both sides of the cloak, Viking Flesh Shade over all the gold. Then we're highlighting with the cracked blue, picking out all the edges, Dawnstone Mechanical Standard grey on the black details, Balor brown, Rakar flesh relayering before applying Pallid Witch flesh highlights, Stormhost silver on all the silvers and the golds, Mephisto red relayer plus an Evil Sun scarlet highlight on all the red details, and how to paint a Tyranid if you are painting a Tyranid. I won't be. I'm putting mine to use somewhere else. So Wild Rider Red, White Scar and Pink Horror is the final highlights used on Calgar and his bodyguard. And we're painting the head, so we're going into a nice detailed paint guide for how to paint the head. And also how to paint the bear head if you want to go that way. That's a really cool finished look to it. And we're painting hazard stripes, and pretty smartly they're showing you the way I suggested how to do them. So put a layer of white Corax white down first, then you can get away with a nice single layer of Uriel yellow. Pick up the stripes in Abaddon black, wash it all over with Viking flesh shade before giving a highlight with Pallid Witch flesh there. But yeah, really nice paint guide. This is really in depth, so it gives you a nice tutorial and you get a really good end result. So yeah, definitely going to be doing mine my way. I'm not enjoying painting my Phobos Marines at the moment using the magazine, so I'll probably be doing mine in my own way when I get around to these guys. So we've got our rules finally for Calgar and his Honor Guard. Precision Strike is our mission, and it's only, it's a 4-map mission again, 75 power, so we can use Marneus Calgar and his bodyguard, plus I'm going to think it's going to be an Ultramarine heavy focused force. So there's a few special rules to look into. So Imperial player is player A, Necron player is B. There's a single objective marker, in sort of a 3/4 area. Half the Necron player's units rounding down must be held in reserve. Ah, cool. Necron player may not use dimensional translocation rule. Okay, that can be a really interesting mission. And then we have a look at our future issue. So 71 and 72 is parts 1 and 2 of our Triarch Praetorians. Right, that's it for the issues. Now let's take a look at our subscriber special. So if you're a subscriber, last delivery we had a little piece of paper saying that the next subscriber gift, exclusive gift, would be a character pack featuring Inquisitor Greyfax. And in this delivery we've received it. And she's only a small figure, but we are paying half the price of it at RRP. She's at £19, but we're only paying £9 for this, and we do get a pretty cool character pack for her as well. So, we've got a 32mm base, and there is Greyfax herself, so really nice model, some nice ornate detail there on her cloak and on her power armor. Really cool model, so much nice detail, and voiced by Catherine Tate in the audio drama focusing on her and St. Celestine. So here we have our character pack, and if we flip over to the back, so we've got a nice little photography tutorial here for you. It's pretty good. We also mentions that on the inside of this pack we get a nice little backdrop, so gives you a nice way on how to photograph your models. Pretty much any old camera will do. Make sure you're using a good backdrop light. Crop it once you've taken the photo. Setting the scene and make things look a little bit more interesting. Capturing that golden angle, and of course don't forget to make sure you focus. So let's have a look through this character pack. So there's no contents list, but we got a bit of background information here on Greyfax herself, her connection with St. Celestine, and of course the Inquisition. So we got a war gear list here. So she has a power sword, Condor bolt gun, psych out grenades. She belongs to the Ordo Hereticus, and I believe she is a psyker as well. So her battle record, we've got the mission for why she's appearing in the Ramazes system. So it's either breaking the Xenocults, cancelling out the stilling or investigating the stilling, and recovering a Noctilith. And we also got each of those breaks down again, and we've got tick charts for if you successfully pull off any of these particular submissions. So we've got a build guide for Greyfax. That's cool. I guess all redacted. Nice. Classified on how to build her. So pretty simple. Glue the sword into the back of the cape, glue the front part of the torso on, glue her legs in place, glue the two halves of the gun together and glue her arm on, glue her left hand and shoulder pad on, glue her backpack, and then glue the two parts of her head together and put that down. So actually looking like a pretty open model, which I was worried it was going to be pretty hard to reach some of the detail. So I might be able to build her fully and still be able to paint everything. And we have got a really detailed paint guide here, so a lot smaller than what we're used to for each section. So we're painting with a coat of lead belcher, picking out the bolt gun casing of Mephisto on red and the backpack icons there, the sword grip for Screamer pink and any purity seal wax, her hair with Mornfang brown, any dials and augmetic eyes, etc. with Calgar blue, Macragge blue. Her cloak picked out with corn red, as is the symbol on her head. shading the metal, well, pretty much the entire model with non-oil there. Picking out her hat with Abaddon Black, the condom or bolt guns casings with Abaddon Black as well, her power armor's corset and the ribs and the outer side of the cloak. And we're picking out all the gold trim, which is pretty cool. I was expecting it to be done with Runelord brass, because it's more of a brassy colour in the pictures I've seen, but they've done it here in the Retributor armour. And picking out Runelord brass here on some of the smaller mechanical details on her backpack. Then we're painting her face, her symbols and her candle with Corax white. And finally the loincloth, purity seal parchment and the strings on a crossbow with a coat of Rakar flesh. Then her flame, picking it out with Uriel yellow, then Trollslayer orange. Then moving on to a second set of shading, so we're shading all the gold with Riken flesh shade and her face. Picking out the skull, candle and other details with non-oil, and Agrax earth shade on the loincloth, the bowstrings and the purity seal, plus the backpack details that are done with Runelord brass. Next stages, we're relayering. Then we're beginning our edge highlighting, so picking out Calgar blue, pink horror, Wild Rider red, Dawnstone for a lot of black detail, Evil Sun scarlet for the filigree there on her cloak, more Dawnstone, Evil Sun scarlet on the inside there of her cloak, and on the bolt gun as well. I think the bolt gun's Wild Rider, sorry. And the candle flame's getting a little bit of red as well. Then we're picking out all the silver details, so all the metal, including the gold and the brass, and all the skulls and the face is picked out with a little highlight of white scar. And then Baylor brown for her hair. And we have a tutorial on painting the eyes and basing, so painting Corax white over the actual eye itself, and then a little dot of Abaddon black just to help pick out the pupil. And then for her basing material, so we're texturing Rashta granite, washing a non-oil, dry brush with an Administratum grey, and then painting the edge of the base with Mechanica standard grey. And there's the finished model, and that is an amazingly done model, and I think I will be following that painting tutorial myself. And then finally we have our photograph, so it's not much of a backdrop, but it is something. So here we have it. So we cut out, we fold it in half, so we've got the ground and the backdrop there. So that's really cool. It's like a nice sandy desert look. So I would probably try to paint the base to match in with this if you wanted to, but really it does look pretty nice. So it's only for the fun bit of taking the photographs, so we can always set some bits of terrain, maybe some enemies. That'd be quite nice. Really looking forward to doing this pack. And then we have her full rules here, so got abilities for the Authority of the Inquisition, Unquestionable Wisdom, and Quarry. It doesn't actually go into much detail on this, but we are getting some more Inquisitors later on in the collection, so they'll probably cover those rules on that. And I mean, she's a Psyker, and she has the Scourging Psychic Power, which is pretty much an up version of Smite, by the looks of things. So start in the movement phase, subtract 1 from the attack characteristics, and roll 2d6 so the total is greater than higher leadership till start the next turn, resolving the attack with subtract 1 from the hit roll. That's not too bad then. So pretty cool. So that's a really nice character pack, I think, for the collection. Right. Okay, let's bring everything in. I'll give you my final thoughts on this collection, and then I'll be able to get on and start reading and building. So there we have delivery 18, and it's a pretty jam-packed delivery. While the models are really cool models, we only have a total of 5 if you count Greyfax. I forgot to put the paints in. So there's our paints. We've got 2 new paints, which are our final paints for the collection. So it's nice that we're going to be able to put all that to use and finish off our models. So they've been looking quite boring if you've been painting the magazine. This glow paint though, that'll really brighten things up. Not too bad the delivery. Like I said, we only get 4 models in here, but they are some really cool models. We've got our 3rd and final Wraith, and awesome character in the form of Calgar. So a lot of the magazine is going to be given up to some awesome painting tutorials for these models. Greyfax is a nice additional bonus if you're a subscriber like myself, and that is a really nicely done character pack. It's, I think, one of the best ones they've done. It's a little bit better, I think, than the premium stuff. That's just my thoughts on things anyway. All in all, we got some really good articles in the magazines, some great paint guides, and we are having some pretty big battles coming up soon, so I might start doing these in parts 1 and part 2, just depending on how long it takes me to play each game, really. But I think that's pretty much it. It's definitely a solid delivery. I think a 5 out of 5 definitely for this. And yeah, really looking forward to getting to work on these guys. So that's going to be it for this video. Let me know what you think of this delivery down in the comment section below. Let me know if you want to see a little bit more coverage on the Greyfax issue before I go ahead and build and paint her myself. Also let me know if there's anything else you want me to cover out of this delivery. I mean, like I said, I'm probably going to be doing Calgar my own way rather than the magazine's way, as I think the way I'm doing it, I can probably get it done a little quicker than following the magazine and having to correct myself multiple times. But either way, looking forward to doing these models. They are some cracking models. So, like I said, if you haven't already, don't forget to click the like button, and not forgetting to subscribe if you don't already do so, and I will see you on the next video. So thank you again all for watching, and I will see you shortly. Thank you very much, and goodbye.